thinks they might want to write books and get books published? Wow, a whole lot of you. Okay, raise your hand if anyone there thinks they might be an illustrator one day. Any artists? Anyone want to create the art for a picture book? Okay, is there anyone there who thinks they could do both? Any author illustrators? I'm not an illustrator. I actually have no talent in that department, but someone like Dan Santat does both. I'm sure you know a lot of people who do both, Mo Willems, and there's so many talented people out there. Okay, last question. Raise your hand if you've ever taken any kind of martial arts class, maybe karate, jujitsu, aikido, taekwondo. Anybody? One or two? Oh, maybe a couple more. Okay. So, all right, let me just ask. So for one or two of those, has anyone gotten further than a white belt? Has anybody stayed in a class long enough to test and become a yellow belt? All right, can we just get a few people to tell me what color belt they have?
Okay.
Wait, is anybody a black belt? What color belt? Sorry, I didn't know.
What color belts are you guys? Jesus?
Orange belt, great.
Aiden, what was it?
Red.
Ooh.
Red belt, fantastic. Yes.
What about over here? Yes.
Well, I don't really go to a class, but I always fight with my dad.
You do.
Anybody
Okay,
else?
was there anybody else? What about you,
Blue
Jose?
belt, brown belt, black belt?
Anybody? How about you, Mario?
Red.
Ooh. And Anthony?
Golden.
Golden.
Wow. Okay, so it depends on what type of martial arts you study or what kind of a school. If you go to karate, taekwondo, it varies. But I've talked to a lot of martial arts school owners, and I've asked them, how long does it take to get a black belt? If you were to start today and go twice a week, every week, how long would it take? And on average, they say 4 or 5 years. So it takes a lot of persistence. You have to stick with it. You have to work hard. And Dan Santat, who illustrated the Three Ninja Pigs, he actually has a black belt in Shotokan. He took martial arts from the time he was 7 until about 14, and he told me there were a lot of times that he wanted to quit, where he had just had enough, but he stuck with it, and he was so glad because he eventually did get his black belt. And I think that a lot of that is true for writers too. A lot of times we write a story and it doesn't sell. We send it out, it gets rejected. We might feel like quitting, but you know, if you stick with it, it took me, between my first book, which is called Hop Plop, and this book, it took 6.5 years to sell this book. So that's one thing I like, that writers and martial artists are kind of both ninjas in a way. I consider myself a book ninja. Okay, so as I said, it took a really long time to sell this, but part of the problem was I knew I wanted to write a fairy tale, and I didn't have a great idea. So where can you go to look for ideas? Let's say you want to write your own Three Little Pigs story, or it could be Little Red Riding Hood, or it doesn't even have to be a fairy tale. Where is a great place to look for ideas? Let's call on 1 or 2 kids.
Okay. Abril?
You can read more books.
Exactly. The library is probably the best place to go. And I read a ton of fairy tales before I wrote mine. Some of them you'll know, so just give me a thumbs up if you like this book. This one is very popular, The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. This is another really popular one because it's Mo Willems, Goldilocks and the Three Dinosaurs. You guys know this one? All right, this one is not probably as well known, but it's really cute. It's called Falling for Rapunzel. Anybody know this, or you guys don't know this one?
Yeah.
How about, oh, this one's brand new, and my friend Tara Lazar wrote it. It's called Little Red Gliding Hood. And actually, I got the idea for the title, and I said to her, you should write it because you're an ice skater. And she wrote it and was lucky. It turned out great, and she sold this one. And one of my favorites, this one comes from England. It's called Goldilocks and Just One Bear. So these are just a few. I looked at like hundreds and hundreds of books, but I still didn't have the perfect idea. So I did a brainstorming exercise. So what I did was I took the 3 blank pigs and I tried to come up with as many things as I could to fill in the blank. I could say the 3 pirate pigs. I could say the 3 soccer pigs, the 3 princess pigs, the 3 purple pigs. It could be anything. So I want to hear ideas from you guys. If you were brainstorming, what would you put in this blank? It could be something you love. If you love football, you could say the 3 football pigs. Or it could be something you hate. Maybe you're scared of zombies and you want to write a scary story and you write the 3 zombie pigs. So let's hear from 5 or 6 people some ideas for filling in this blank.
Starters.
Could you hear that? The 3 purple pigs.
The 3 what?
Purple pigs.
Purple pigs. Okay, what's another one?
Aiden?
The three golden pigs.
The 3 golden pigs.
Okay, we're on a color theme here. How about something that's not a color? What else could you do? Could be the 3 gigantic pigs, or it could be the 3 silly pigs.
Victor? What's your idea, Victor? Oh, the 3 zombie pigs.
Okay, what else?
Any other idea? What's your idea?
The 3 panda pigs.
Panda pigs.
Okay, what else? Think of something you love or something.
Oh, silly pigs.
The 3 silly pigs. All right, one more.
Anybody else? Isadora? What? Baby pigs.
The 3 baby pigs. Okay, so you get the idea, so you can brainstorm. And you know what? You can brainstorm by yourself or you could brainstorm in a group. I love to brainstorm with a partner because sometimes she says something and that gives me an idea. So it's okay, you know, to work in groups or as a brainstorm as a whole class. So I still didn't have the idea that I was really looking for, that you know, an idea that I was excited about. So where else could I look? I looked in books. I even looked at maybe some movies and TV shows, but I still didn't have an idea. Where else can you look for an idea? This is a little bit hard. What do you think? Anybody? Let's just have one person give it a shot, and then I'll tell you, because I think we're going to run out of time. I feel like I lost sound.
There we go. He said you could look on Google.
Okay, you could look on the internet. You could look around you in your life. So you could look at your family. So for example, this is my family. I'm going to just, they're not home, so I'm just going to pull up a quick photo of them. That is my husband and my 2 kids, Jordan and Josh. They call themselves the Knuckleheads. And I get a lot of ideas from them. You could look at your pets. You could look at your experiences in your life. So you could maybe, you know, look at things that happen at school with your friends, things that happen at home with your dog or whatever. So at the time that I got the idea for this, my son was 3, Josh was 3, and he was taking a Taekwondo class at his preschool. And we were at a restaurant talking to the waitress and she spoke Spanish. So my daughter Jordan was 4. She said, I speak a little Spanish. So the waitress looked at Josh and she said, do you speak Spanish too? And he said, no, but I speak a little karate. And I said, what? Karate's not a language. I don't know if any of you can guess what he meant by that. He was learning a language in his Taekwondo class. When he did his moves, they would count in a different language. They didn't say 1, 2. They said hana, duel, set, net. Anybody know what language that is? Maybe if you've taken Taekwondo, you might know.
Japanese.
Japanese is a good guess. If you take karate, you might learn Japanese. He actually, in Taekwondo, it comes from Korea. So he was learning words in Korean. But as soon as he said that, I thought, oh my gosh, I would love to write the 3 karate pigs. I thought, you know what? Lots of kids love martial arts. There's never been a martial arts fairy tale that I know of. So I went home and I started to write the 3 karate pigs. And as I was writing, it turned into the 3 ninja pigs. So I looked at my life, I listened. You always kind of like have your eyes and ears open for ideas. I looked at books. A lot of people see this and they say, did you get the idea from Kung Fu Panda? Because some of the characters that Dan drew remind them of some of the characters from the movie. So I didn't get the idea there, but I could have. So I'm going to read this to you guys. Let's see how we're doing on time. We are fine. Put on my little pig ears. I'm going to read the 3 Ninja Pigs. And like I said, it was illustrated by Dan Santat. The 3 Ninja Pigs. Once upon a dangerous time, a wolf loved to huff and to puff. He'd go around town and blow houses down till 3 little pigs cried, "Enough!" We've got to get rid of that bully. We're tired of letting him rule. We must put an end to this terrible trend. Let's train at that new ninja school. Pig 1 took beginner Aikido to learn a few basic techniques. He gained some new skills but got bored with the drills and dropped out in less than 2 weeks. So what color belt for Pig 1? You know what you start with?
White.
Yeah, he has a white belt. His brother Pig 2 took jujitsu and learned how to block and to punch. When that wolf comes to knock, he'll be in for a shock. Kia, I will eat him for lunch. The teacher said, excellent progress, but Pig-san, you must study more. Pig 2 said, no way, sayonara, sensei. I'm ready to settle a score. What color belt for Pig 2?
Orange.
Yeah, you could, some people say gold, or in this school, they go from white to yellow. So he did a little bit better than his brother, but do you think he's ready for the wolf? No way. Pig 3 chose the art of karate and rose bright and early to train. She got in a groove and mastered each move, the cartwheel, the crescent, the crane. She balanced and blocked like an expert and practiced her lessons nonstop. By the time she was through, she could break boards in 2 by performing a perfect pork chop. For months, she'd persisted in earnest until she had paid all her dues. How happy she felt when she earned her last belt. I'll make that wolf shake in his shoes. So remember, we talked about, perseverance and how important it is. She studied and she went white, yellow, orange, green. Looks like, I don't even know what that is. Brown, purple, red, blue, black. Soon after, the wolf paid a visit to the little straw house of Pig 1. Stay out of my hut or I'll kick your big butt. I'm telling you, you better run. The wolf took a giant step forward. Oh yeah, come and get me, he dared. Pig 1 made a fist. He swung, but he missed. I wish I'd been way more prepared. So he's better got to run to his brother's house. The wolf chased Pig 1 to his brother's and hollered, "Hey, pigs, let me in!" I wish I was there, and then one of you could have been the wolf. Pig 2 yelled, "Retreat, or you'll suffer defeat by the hair of my chinny chin chin." One puff, and the wolf blew the door down. Pig 2 did his best flying kick. But whoosh, the wolf dodged, and the pig's foot got lodged. We've got to get out of here quick. So they got to run to their sister's house. The chase carried on to their sister's. Pig 3 was outside in her gi. I'm a certified weapon, so watch where you're stepping. You don't want to start up with me. Pig 3 faced the wolf and bowed deeply, for ninjas are very polite. Quit huffing and puffing, and I am not bluffing. I warn you, I'm willing to fight. She then gave a swift demonstration with backflips and butterfly kicks. The wolf looked quite shaken, but hollered, "Yo, bacon! I'm not at all scared of your tricks." You think the wolf looks scared? I think he's getting scared. He doesn't want to admit it. Pig 3 heaped some bricks in a pile. I'll show you what else I can do. With one mighty whack, she split the whole stack. Pig 3 said, that could have been you. Now he's looking pretty scared. The wolf saw that he was outrivaled. He took one last look at Pig 3. I love to eat ham, but I think I should scram before she makes mincemeat of me. The brother pigs high-fived their sister and watched the wolf vanish from view. They cheered, "Ninjas rule! Let's go back to school so we could be ninja pigs too." They devoted themselves to their training till each proudly earned a degree. 3 pigs full of mojo then ran their own dojo, and life was forever wolf-free. The end. Okay, so let's see. We have like about 5 minutes. So do you guys have any questions for me? Any questions about being an author or writing books or where ideas come from?
Udia?
What do I need to be an author like you?
All right, sorry.
He said, what does he need to do to be an author like you?
Well, the first thing you need to do is read hundreds and hundreds of books. So read as much as you can, especially in whatever genre you're interested in writing. If you like fantasy, then read a lot of fantasy books. If you want to write nonfiction, you could read a lot of nonfiction books. So that's really the first step, is to just read as much as possible. And then, you know, you'll start, when you're ready, you'll start to write stories. And you want to write, and then you want to get feedback. So one of the things that happened to me is that when I wrote the 3 Ninja Pigs, okay, my first book was called Hop Clop, and it was a mouse and an elephant go to a playground, and they were both boys. And when the book came out, I had a little girl, and she said, "Mommy, how come there are no girls in the story?" And I said, "I don't know." Like, I didn't have a good answer for her. So when I wrote this, I said, oh, every time I read a book about the 3 little pigs, it's 3 brothers, but I'm going to make one of them a sister pig. And so my first draft, I made Pig 2 the girl. So it was brother pig, sister pig, and then brother pig. And my daughter read it. She was like about 5, and she said, "Mommy, I like this book a lot, but I want Pig 3 to be the girl." And I said, "Wow, great idea." So if you want to write, you have to be kind of open to feedback and revising. And it doesn't mean you have to listen to everything people say. If people give me a suggestion and I don't agree, I'm not going to change it. But if they give me a suggestion that I think is a great idea, then that's a way for me to make my story stronger and better. Okay, really good question. Anybody else have a question?
Richard?
How old were you when you found out you liked to read and write?
I heard how old.
Yeah, how old were you when you discovered that you loved to read and write?
Oh, that's another really good question. Okay, so I was born with something called cataracts, and it's a problem with your eyes. It usually happens to people when they get very old, so maybe somebody has a grandparent with cataracts, but I was born with it, and I couldn't see very well. So when I was little, I could see like something big, like I could see just one bear, but I would never have been able to read like a chapter book. If you look at the size of this print, that was impossible for me to see. So when I was 7, I went to the hospital and I had eye surgery, and I got glasses. Now I'm wearing my contacts, but back then I had glasses that were very thick and they were heavy, but I could see everything, and I was so thrilled, and I was so excited, and people gave me books as a gift in the hospital, and I started reading so much. So I would say when I was 7 is when I fell in love with reading, and I started to read. I read like Nancy Drew mysteries, and I read so many books, Ramona, Beverly Cleary. I'm not sure if these are books you guys still know and read, but I read like crazy, and I started writing my own stories. So I started to write stories and poems like in about 2nd grade. Okay, anybody else have a question? We can take one more question.
How do you like design the book?
Do you mean the art?
He said, how do you design the illustrations in the book? Yeah, the illustrations in the book.
Okay, so I actually am not involved in any of the cover design or the art inside. The publisher, I sent this book to a publisher. It's called Penguin Putnam, and they picked the illustrator. They chose Dan Santad. He does all the sketches, and I don't see it till it's done. Isn't that crazy? I always thought maybe Dan and I could sit down and talk about it, and I could tell him what I was thinking about, my ideas, but it doesn't work that way. So he does the whole book. When it's done, I get to see it, and then I can make a few comments if I think like text needs to move, but I can't really change the art. So that's how it works. That's why it's great if you could be the author and the illustrator. Then you can do it exactly how you envision it in your head. But I got very lucky because Dan is a Caldecott medalist. All right, I'm actually okay on time. Like if you guys want to go a little over, it's up to you.
Sure, yeah. One more question. Emiliano, what's your question?
My question is, why do you want to be a why do you want to be an author?
Why did I want to be an author? You know, when I was in elementary school, I wanted to be an author because I loved books so much, and I spent so much time reading, and I thought, wow, wouldn't it be great if I could write novels and, you know, kids could enjoy them when they're 10, 11, 12, 13. And then I kind of forgot that I wanted to be an author, and I had a different job. Anyone want to guess what my job was before I was an author? I spent about 10 years in a different career. You guys want to guess? Think about what would I do if I love kids and I love books, but I wasn't actually a librarian, because that would have been a really good career for me. I would have loved to be a librarian, but I wasn't. Anybody want to guess?
Anybody want to guess? Ingrid, what do you think?
Teacher? Is that what they said?
That's what she said.
Yes. I taught at a school for the deaf. So I studied sign language, and I taught English, and I actually taught math. It's funny because most people are surprised to hear that math was my favorite subject. I loved it. So I taught math. And then later, I remembered kind of, you know, that I wanted to write books. And by the time I decided to try writing, I realized that picture books were a better match for me, for my skills. I'm very good at rhyme and language, and I'm not as good at coming up with a very long, complicated plot. So I'm sticking with picture books for now. I have 6 books out. My 7th book comes out next year, and maybe one day I will try to write a chapter book, but I don't know. Okay. Is that it? One more?
Anybody else have another question? Darla, what's your question?
Why did she do the pictures? Why did she?
Asking why did you have an illustrator and not do them yourself?
I have no artistic talent. If I drew a pig, you wouldn't even know that it was a pig. My daughter actually is not that bad. She made this little ninja pig for me out of clay. It's pretty cute, and her drawings are cute too. But I think you can work on your artistic skill and you can improve it, but I do think you have to be born a little bit with a gift in art, and I didn't feel that I had that skill. If you guys have it, that's awesome.
Do one more?
Okay.
Okay, let's do one. Julio, what's your question?
Why do you like writing children?
He said, why do you enjoy writing children's books?
I think because I really like language and I like wordplay, and I had so much fun coming up with lines like performing a perfect pork chop, because it's like they're a pig and a pork chop is something really you eat, but a pork chop in karate kind of had 2 meanings. So I like to play with words, and I like the sound of the alliteration, performing a perfect pork chop, the p-p-p-p-p, and so that's fun for me. So I think that's why I stick with kids' books, because like I said, you know, it's a different skill to try to write something with a long, complicated plot, and I'm better at just the rhythm, the rhyme, the meter, and the kind of metaphorical language. Okay, so you guys, if you want to try to write your own ninja fairy tale, I have like a template you guys can use to get started. So I'm going to send that to your teacher. And if you guys are interested, you could let her know, and maybe she can give that to you guys to get you started. Because sometimes getting started is just the hardest part. And once you're writing, then you get in a groove, and it's easy and fun. Okay?
Yeah, I would appreciate that.
Okay, I'm going to send you that link. And if you guys want bookmarks, I can send those too.
Yeah, thank you. Can you guys all wave at Mrs. Schwartz and tell her thank you?
Thank you.
Bye.
For time with us.